स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te Namah. I bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, who established the universal religion, who is the embodiment of all religions and the foremost among the avatars. Om Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace be unto all. Our topic, how I became a monk. Sometimes American devotees are very curious. They want to know the Swami's background and little history and all sorts of things. Generally, Ramakrishna monks are reluctant to speak about themselves. We say, know Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Swamiji. What will you gain knowing me? Moreover, it is hard to speak about our pre-monastic life, about our activities also. When we take the brahmacharya vows, we repeat a mantra, Atmashlagha Varjaniyaha, shun the vain glory. That is a beautiful mantra. In the Mahabharata says, if you glorify yourself, that is akin to suicide. That is the reason our monks do not like to speak about themselves. But these American people are very curious. That is the reason I said, well, I shall tell you in brief a little bit about my background, and very interesting how I became a monk. I was born on 16th March 1936 in a village 4 miles north from Khulna town, Khulna district. It is in British India. That village, very remote, primitive village, no running water, no electricity. Mile after mile, green rice field, paddy field, trees. It is a big village, nearly 10,000 people. And most of them are all Hindus. My uncle was a judge. He built a temple, Krishna temple, Hari Mandir, in 1933. After a couple of years, he died in Vrindavan. That was our family temple. My father and mother, they are very religious people. I have never seen my parents eat food without repeating their mantra. My mother was deeply spiritual. She used to fast for Shiva one Monday a month, one Shani, one Saturday a month, one Mangal Chanji, one Tuesday a month. I calculated nearly 45 to 48 days a year she did fasting. We have a very big family. We have 5 brothers, 5 sisters. My father had plenty of land. So I grew up in my village for over 14 years. 1936 to 1950. I went to school, village school. My uncle, younger uncle, he was the owner of the school, children's school. Then I went to the high school, which is 1 mile away from our home on the bank of the river, Bhairav. Three, four, 5, 6. When it was 5, 1947, partition came. India was divided, India and Pakistan. Our home fell into Pakistan, East Pakistan, now which is Bangladesh. From our home, border is only 50 miles. From Calcutta, our home is 110 miles east. We have a rail line, railway station. And from the town, our village, 4 miles. You can come by boat or walk. And once a year, there was a big chariot festival in our village from our temple. We fed all villagers. And my one aunt, she was a widow, young widow, married, and she became widow at the age of 14 or 15. As Hindu, you cannot marry again. They are very orthodox Brahmins. So she became the caretaker of the temple and stayed with us. I still cherish my village life. Beautiful, beautiful country. Then came riot. The Muslims are murdering the Hindus. So I still remember 21st April 1950. My father, mother, myself, my younger brother, who is 6-7 years younger, and the servant. We left home at 2 o'clock at night, came to the river, Ghat, took the boat, came to the railway station. Wonder, nearly 100,000 people are trying to get in the train. Out of fear, they're running away. Some people sat on the top of the train. I had a Muslim friend. He went previous day and stood in line so that we can get a ticket. So we got first class ticket. Luckily, we pushed our mother through the door, packed. And myself and my father and brother, we sat on our bedding near the bathroom. Please remember, we'll have to cross 50 miles. When it came to the border station, Benapur, I still remember. Police came and took my father down away. My mother was crying. I also got down. I was 14 years old. I also got down from the train and followed my father. And then I talked to the, she's from West Pakistan, doesn't know Bengali. And my English also very broken anyhow. I asked, why did you bring my father here? Seeing me, that officer was telling, do you know somebody is smuggling gold? Got in from the railways from Jessore. I told him, well, I found somebody got down in the previous station. As you know, the smugglers do not come to the last station, the border station. They come previous and then through the route or the crossing the river, they smuggle. So, hearing my bold statement, this officer released my father. My mother was so relieved. Because once you go to Pakistan jail, nobody knows what will happen. So anyhow, after we left, I think in the evening, the train, we left at 10 o'clock from our railway station. We crossed the border near almost evening. Some of my nephews received us. Then we changed the train, took to Ranaghat, then went to Barakpur, changing another train. You cannot believe that what was going on at that time in India. Millions of people entered in Calcutta. They are staying on this sidewalk, railway station, scattered everywhere. Luckily, my sister has a one-bedroom apartment. She had husband, 3 children, and my other 2 brothers, and we all entered there. Seeing our pitiable, sometimes we used to sleep on the roof. Seeing our pitiable condition, that one lawyer gave his living room to us so that we can sleep. And it is on the bank of the river. I used to go and bathe in the river. Very, very difficult time. It was 1950, April. Then luckily my second brother was engaged, and his would-be father-in-law gave a quarter in Ichhapur, 4 miles from Barakpur. There we stayed 1 or 2 months. There is no housing in Calcutta and adjacent areas. Millions of Hindus entered. So we are just refugees, homeless. Luckily we got an apartment, 3 rooms, a small tile shed we rented, got in. But before I got this stage, I will have to tell a little bit about 1944-45. You see, freedom movement was going on. In 1942, quit India. British, the Hindus, the whole Indians are shouting, quit India. I was 6 years old. I used to shout, quit India. Then my aunt was a very learned woman. She used to give lecture. 3,000-4,000 people could hear, open voice, quoting the scriptures. But my elder brother was married in 1944. He and his wife brought Gospel of Ramakrishna and Sri Sri Ramakrishna Upadesh by Suresh Chandra Datta, and Thakur and Mother's pictures in our country home. That is the first time I was exposed to Thakur and Ma. My elder brother used to read the Gospel of Ramakrishna in our living room, and the villagers would come and listen. So from the age of 8, 9, 10, more or less I knew all the stories of Ramakrishna, especially the parables. And my brother would decorate the shrine with red hibiscus and flowers, gardenia. I still remember. He has a beautiful shrine. And I used to listen. The first thing I read, it was in our curriculum in class 7. Swadesh Mantra. Swamiji's talk on the modern India. That was in our curriculum. It was class 7, 1949. I read Swamiji a little bit. Then 30, 49, 50 anyhow. So that was a little bit background, that I am not completely unaware of Thakur Ma Swamiji. So I was exposed at the age of 8 or 9. Anyhow, that was a little bit I want to tell you, that how I came to know about Thakur Ma Swamiji. Then it was middle of the year. You see, you will have to understand, Indian education system is the British education system. 1 year. We do not have semester. Whole year. If you fail 1 year, another year. We do not have 3 months, 6 months. No. So almost 5 months over, May. It was in June. The landlord, our landlord, took me to the headmaster of the Devi Prasad school in Barakpur. The headmaster says, this boy has come, will he get any admission in the school? 6 months over. Seeing me, that headmaster became very compassionate. He said, yes, we shall take him. I do not want to miss 1 year. So I got in, I worked hard, then comes summer vacation, then puja vacation, then December final examination. I passed. Then 9, 10, then I finished the school. Then I remember the government gave us ration cards. We used to get rice, wheat and sugar. These 3 things government gave us. We'll have to pay, of course, but in a cheaper rate. So one day I came from Ishapur, I forgot to bring the ration card. I brought money, I brought bag, but I forgot to bring the ration card. So I was very sad. I thought, am I so irresponsible that I did not bring the ration card? So my elder brother was my sister's house. He said, don't worry, we will get ration tomorrow. Let us go to Dakshineshwar. Most probably it was June, May or June. He took me to Dakshineshwar after lunch. It takes nearly 45 minutes to 1 hour from Barakpur to Dakshineshwar.
What year was that, Swami?
1950. So I wrote about it, about my days in Dakshineshwar, my memory of Dakshineshwar. I wrote in that how to see God with open eyes, Dakshineshwar, my dreamland. Anyhow, so my brother took temple closed. All temples are closed. 4 o'clock the temple will open. So my brother took me to Panchavati. At that time, there are many trees are there. And the pedestal, you saw that round, there we sat, there is no fence. My brother explained to me that sitting here, Sri Ramakrishna used to talk with the Divine Mother. On my boyhood memory, 14 years, I used to imagine about Sri Ramakrishna. At that time, there are not too many people in Dakshineshwar. Then when the temple opened, he showed me Kali, Krishna, Shiva, Sri Ramakrishna's room. He gave me a guided tour. And he knew some priests in Dakshineshwar. Anyhow, then I came back. Then another day, he took me to Udbodhan, mother's house. And he knew some monks, Swami Advayananda, Swami Samatpananda, Swami Prem Rupananda. He knew some monks. So he introduced me with those monks. He has my younger brother, he will come on Sundays when to visit here. And then I went to Belur Math one day. At that time, you see that Vivekananda bridge, you will have to pay 1 anna toll. So Dakshineshwar, then I used to cross the bridge, paying 1 anna on foot, and then take the 55 bus, and then Belur Math. So I was a village boy. I told the conductor, I was afraid that I maybe pass the Belur Math. I was saying, please, when Belur Math comes, please call me. So anyhow, there I visited Belur Math. I still remember I attended Arati, Swamiji's temple at that time, some kind of wooden steps, not cemented steps now, not like that. And with Swamiji's room front, the visitors go up, that was not there. Belur Math also very primitive type of place. But anyhow, not so many buildings. 1950s Belur Math. And not too many people in Arati also. 8 or 10 monks in front, and perhaps 12 or 15 men, and then women at the back, few, and big mosquitoes. Oof! They will inject blood from your body in no time. So, class 8, Barakpur school, every Sunday after lunch, at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I used to go to. It takes 1 hour from Calcutta, from the Barakpur to Calcutta. So I went to mother's house, and monks, I used to serve them. We used to do their errands, clean mother's place, or there are some clothing of Swami Charadananda, Swami Holy Mother's, various things I used to carry on the roof and sunbathe them and put some black cumin seed and naphthalene ball, moth ball, so that this will be protected. I was very responsible person, you see. The monks are so fond of me, they used to do all kinds of work. Hey, you do this, you do that. So, I still remember during Mother's centenary, 1954, 55, 53, 54, I was in charge of the shoe department. All devotees will come, you put the shoe here, I shall give you a ticket, and then you can go and see mother and come back and you give the ticket, then you take your shoes. So I was in charge of the shoe department, Mother Centenary. I saw the Mother Centenary, that what is called the exhibition in shoe enamel in the middle of Calcutta. I used to visit that place also. So anyhow, I got involved with Udbodhan, mother's house. The monks taught me to recite this Khanjana Bhavandana Ongring Ritam Pakiting Paramam. They asked me to memorize. I memorized them. Then they asked me, one monk asked me to copy Mohammed God, Ghazal of Delusion of Shankara. Still that copy I have, but I copy this. It is full of renunciation. So after attending the Arati in Udbodhan, I used to take bus 32 and go to Dakshineshwar. In Dakshineshwar, I used to go to Mother Kali's temple, Krishna temple, and I sat in Thakur's room till 9:30. There are also big mosquitoes. But I used to sit at that time there was no fence or no barrier. So I used to sit in the western wall facing east, so that sometimes I could touch my head on Sri Ramakrishna's bed. But there is a Chaudhuri Maharaj. He won't allow anybody to touch the bed. Chaudhuri Maharaj is out. I used to touch my head on Thakur's bed. And that cot, you have seen both cots, one for his sleeping, another Thakur used to use for talking. Anyhow, I still remember my memories. Then what happened, meanwhile, time changed. My parents again returned to our country home, Bangladesh, East Pakistan. They used to send money by various ways so that we can go to school. My other 3 brothers are all in school. My immediate older brother, he is 87, 88. He is now the president of All India Vivekananda Yuva Mahamandal, All India Vivekananda Youth Movement. He is the president, never married. My younger brother, I shall talk about him a little later. Anyhow, so that way continued. My parents returned, but we remained. I stayed with my sister. I had my own room, apartment, and my sister had another apartment. She had 2 daughters, 1 son. My husband was a lawyer. He used to live in East Pakistan. And time to time he used to come. So I became the guardian of my sister, and sister was my guardian. She used to cook for me. Then this way, I finished the school. Then I went to college. First I thought I shall study science and medical line, but Thakur's grace, it changed. I want arts and commerce. So I stayed during my next 4 years in college. I stayed in my uncle's room, uncle's house, sister's house, again another uncle's house. In this way I stayed. But I went to Udbodhan regularly. Then what happened, and I used to read a lot. I was a voracious reader. Then it was, I finished college 57, 58 I went to the university, brought the form, thought I shall go for masters and law, something my father wanted. My father has so much faith in me. Even from the age of 14, 15, I used to take care of his bank account. He did not trust any other brothers. So when he became a monk, he was a little shocked. But later on, he became very proud. My mother was indifferent. Then I remember when I joined the monastery, my mother asked, Uncle, who will look after me? You are joining? Uncle, 4 brothers, if they do not look after you, I shall come back and I shall look after you. And my father, I still remember, he wrote in his will that according to Hindu law, a monk has no right to his paternal property. So he said that if my son is a monk, if he comes back, he will get his share of property, Anyhow, yes. And he had very queer ideas about the Hindu monks. He has never seen Ramakrishna monks. He saw the traditional monks matted here, beard, besmeared with ashes. They bake food from door to door, and they die on the street. That is his conception of the monks. My father. But what happened? He wrote, it is all right that you joined, but may I never hear that you died on the street without treatment. I have money. He's very kind of me, anyhow. I remember I met him after joining. I met him in my sister's home. He was crying. But later on, he became very proud of me. My son is a monk. How I look at it, if you have genuine love for Thakur, he makes everything favorable. Then it was 1958, 1st December. I was asking Swami Advayananda, he was the manager of Advaita Ashrama, and he knew me. He was the manager of Udbodhan also. I knew him from 1950. I just inquired, Maharaj, could I stay in the monastery? He said, I shall consult with Swami Gambhiranandaji. He is the president, then I shall let you know. So he consulted. Gambhiranandaji said, yes, he can stay. At that time I had a job because I was supporting my younger brother who was in school. But yes, he can stay, but he will have to do the proofreading. So I got free room and board and doing proofreading and editing. Then my brother also was taken by Ramakrishna Mission, Narendapur. Then I got a chance to join. So it was 28th February, Ramakrishna's birthday, 1960. 28th February 1960, Ramakrishna's birthday, I joined the Ramakrishna Order. So I shaved my head, went with other two brahmacharis to Belur Math. And Swami Madhavanandaji was General Secretary. But before joining, I was connected with Vivekananda Studies Circle. Professor Binoy Sengupta, there every Saturday he used to give a class to the young students. So I went to him. He saw me 7 age. He thought that in our country, if you are 7 age, that means either your parents, somebody died in your family, either father or mother. Then I said, no, I just joined. So he was very happy, my professor. Then what happened? I joined. My goodness. It was a huge publication department, Advaita Ashrama, Calcutta, 4 Wellington Lane, I still remember. It's a central part of Calcutta. Oof, no privacy. One room, one side is servants and cooks, and this side I am, my bed, and near my head is the office of the Ramakrishna Mission Sorisha. Bathroom, wherever is available, run around. Oof. Then there we stayed, I think, 2 years. Then in 1961, in new Advaita Ashram moved to Italy. They are a little spacious, but still 2 persons in one room. We are brahmacharis at that time. See, 1961 we moved there. Then came 1963, Swamiji's centenary time. Oof! Swami Prabhavananda came, Isharuj, John Yell, that year Vidyatmananda got his sannyas. So I knew Vidyatmananda at that time. I helped him translating that Ramakrishna's photos illustrated. I helped him translating the Bengali part. And huge conference, 1963. Do you know what happened? The brahmachari who is supposed to be the food in charge, bhanjari, kitchen in charge, he left. So I was doing photo department, foreign department, and the food department also fell on me. So 1 year I had morning 4 o'clock till 11 o'clock at night, non-stop. Work. What a time. And ashrama was full of visitors, guests, people, monks came from all over India to Calcutta to see this Vivekananda centenary. All Swami Nikhilananda came with the inventor of Xerox, Mr. Carlson, Chester Carlson. So all these people were visitors. But I am studying and attending classes. But when he joined, Gambhiranandaji was president every morning. After breakfast, half-an-hour class on the scriptures. So he taught us Brahma Sutra, Gita, then Kena Upanishad, I read Chandogya Upanishad, quite a few things he gave classes to us. But in school, 5 years I had Sanskrit, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Memorized Sanskrit grammar, but still I do not know much Sanskrit, I shall tell you. Very difficult subject. But anyhow, then I had to go to the training center, 64 to 66. 2 years rigorous training. I used to study 12, 13 hours a day. I became very sick. There is not sufficient food in Belur Math at that time. Shortage of food. Oof. Morning, this much mudi and tea. That's it. 11:30, 12 o'clock, rice or soup, lentil, dal. Nikhilananda arranged some fish, luckily. And afternoon only tea. And dinner bell will be 9:20 at night. So much hunger. Oof. I used to, after Maruti, I used to drink water. The more I drink water, the more I become hungry. What to do? Sometimes I used to go, is there any prasad there? Sometimes in the office here. Then in 1966, I became really sick, throwing up. People thought I have ulcer, duodenum ulcer. Throwing up, throwing up, throwing up. Got my brahmacharya vows. My name was Jnana Chaitanya, 1966. That year, Swami Chetanananda became the president. That is the first time he gave us brahmacharya vows. Then I was sick, but I was reading proof. That is my job. Hard time. Return again Advaita Ashrama. Then working hard, 1970, I thought I should go to Mayavati. So they sent me to Mayavati. There I worked for Ramakrishna, a biography in pictures, the thing which Advaita Ashrama published. Swami Chetanananda wrote the foreword, biographical section. And in meantime, Vivekananda Call to the Nation, for the young generation, I compiled that book. And Ramakrishnaji's message, Swamiji's message. Those books are published because I was a brahmachari, so my name is not there. So Mayavati, few months. In December, I came from Mayavati. So Swami Nirvananandaji called me and said, you know, I just got Shana 69, I am talking about the 1970. So Madhavan Nirvananandaji told me that, you know, Swami Bandhanananda has come back. We want to send in his place to Hollywood. I suggested your name. If President Maharaj asks your opinion, don't say no. Uncle Maharaj, I never gave lecture in English. He said, it doesn't matter, Prabhavananda will teach you. So I came to Advaita Ashrama back, thus in 1971, Swami Vivekananda's birthday. I came to Belur Math from Advaita Ashrama. I bowed down to Swami Gambhiranandaji, who was then General Secretary. He said, well, the trustees selected you for Hollywood. Please try to get ready. Then I said, Maharaj, wrong selection. I am young. I just 34th. I am young. Why don't you send some senior monks? Well, the trustees selected you. If you do not want to go, you will write a letter to me. I shall place it in the trustee meeting. I kept quiet because Nirvananandaji told me don't say no. So I kept quiet. Then I got my passport, I got my visa, I got my green card, Calcutta. At that time it was easy to get green card. Then I went for a pilgrimage for South India. I never visited South India. So I going to Madras, then Mahabalipuram, Pokshitirtham, then Kanchipuram. Then I went to what is called, that Krishna Vishnu temple is there, that place, Tiruchinapalli, Trichy. From there, I went to Rameshwaram to Madurai to Trivandrum Trivandrum to Kanyakumari, Kanyakumari to Trivandrum, back to Trivandrum to Coimbatore, Coimbatore to Uti, Uti to Mysore, Mysore to Bangalore, Bangalore to Madras, Madras to Calcutta. So in 24 days, I have a pilgrimage whole South India. Then it was 31st May, 1971. Swami Vivekananda's huge bronze statue was unveiled at the gateway of India, next to Shivaji. This side is Swamiji, near the Taj Hotel. Swami Hiranmayanandaji was then the president of Bombay. So we went, attended that meeting. Of course, I flew, I think, 24th May. 27th May, I flew from, 24th May I left Advaita Ashrama, 27th May I left Belur Math, then came to Bombay, and with Swami Gambhiranandaji and Nirvananandaji, and then attended that function, and then 1st June 1971, I left India. I still remember Boeing 707, Air India. First stop was in Moscow. From Moscow, just transit. I moved around in the Moscow airport. Then came to Paris, Orly Airport. At that time, Diagal Airport was not there. Orly Airport. Vidyatmananda is supposed to receive me, but he was there, but I could not see him. I was in a terrible situation at that time. But luckily I met some people who came from Moscow. They are the Indian embassy people. They knew Swami Ranganathanandaji. So I talked to them. They said, we shall help you. So the Indian ambassador of France, he also came. He also received me. So he received me, he received them. So I went with them. Then I said, well, I took my luggage. I said, I can go to the center. At that time, Indian government won't allow more than $100 to the foreign countries if you travel. So I have $100. But $100? No, it will not work. You do not know English, you do not know French, and your ochre cloth. If some people will push you from the car. Our center is 24, 25 kilometers in the countryside. But no, we won't let you go. You will have to come to my house. So I went to that ambassador's house, then called the Vidyatmananda. Vidyatmananda again came back from Greece to Paris and picked me up. I went to to the center at midnight almost. I was exhausted. And when we left Bombay, it was so much rain. The car did not take a start, but luckily one jeep took a start, and Swami Atmasthanandaji and Premarupanandaji and Karmabhai Maharaj, they came to see me off at the airport in Bombay. I still remember. And at that time, that Mangalarati was going on, and Swami Atmasthanandaji was telling him, look, Thakur's Mangalarati is going on, your journey will be very good. But my journey was horrible in Paris. Then anyhow, Vidyatmanandaji showed me all important places of Paris, 3 days. Then I went to London. There also, Yogeshanandaji showed me all around. At that time, London Center was in 54 Holland Park. It is in the main part of the city. Now it has moved to Bourne, that is Buckinghamshire. It is outside. Anyhow, London 3 days, moved around. I wanted to see the Canterbury Church. So he took me there. And Buckingham Palace, all these palaces I saw. Then from 3 days, then I came to, that also, Air India, 707. I came to New York, Kennedy Airport. Jack and Eric from Ramakrishna Vedanta Society, Pavitranandaji Center, came to receive me because I am supposed to stay with him, Pavitranandaji. Of course, Adi Sharanandaji also came to the airport. So John Schling showed me all New York City. I still remember, I went to the Empire State Building on the top. So he gave me a Metropolitan Museum, all those things I saw. Then Swami Nikhilanandaji invited me for lunch, 10th June. Yes, 10th June. And I said, Maharaj, he was crying that I had a desire to go to Belur Math and roll in front of the Ramakrishna's temple on the ground. Such a great scholar. He was at that time, he was developing Alzheimer, forgetting. Then 11th June 1971, I came to Hollywood. That is Jambu Jet 747 TWA. But you know, during this time when I was traveling, not too many passengers. I got 4 seats. I lifted the handrest and just lay down and covered myself with a pillow and blanket and just slept. And when I got up, I wrote my travel log. My travel log came out in a book. It was published in Udbodhan magazine. Then it has come in the Bahurupi Vivekananda, my travel account. Anyhow, there I wrote more details. Then in Hollywood, I still remember a Dharam Das and all Tattamashi and Swami Shraddhananda came, and all the devotees are there. My goodness, nearly 50, 60, some monks also, 60, 70 people are there to receive me. At that time I was 24 pounds, lean and thin. Oof. Then Shraddhanandaji came forward. He flew from Sacramento to receive me because he knew me when I was a student in Udbodhan. He was the editor of the magazine. So he said, my jewel, do you know where you are? You are in holy wood, pure forest, full of gopis. That was my reception address. But you know, in between, when I came out from the gate, an American stranger pushed our devotees and grabbed my hand and said, I don't know who you are, you must be very important. Otherwise, why so many people have come to receive you? So then I came to Hollywood. My Hollywood days already Dharam Das recorded, you know. And my days in California, in Hollywood. So this is the way I became monk, and last 8th June, I completed my 50th anniversary in the United States of America. It is all Thakur's and Mother's grace. I got a chance to serve these American people. I stayed in Hollywood for 7 years. Then I was transferred to St. Louis. Swami Shat Prakashanandaji, who made Swami Vivekananda and a disciple of Swami Brahmananda. I stayed with him 1 year, 7 months. Of course, with Prabhupanandaji 5 years. Prabhupanandaji passed away 4th of July 1976. Then in 1978, 1st March, I went to St. Louis. Still I am in St. Louis. And I come to Laguna Beach in summer, 2.5 months I work, meditate. Winter also 1 month. I stayed with the Disney cottage for 20 years. Now my friend Robert Flanders gave this cottage. This is my brief story, how I became monk and what I did. And I worked some books, perhaps you must have seen in our website, and I gave lectures, classes, made 3 videos, documentaries, 6 audio tapes, my chantings, bas. So I glorified myself. Thakur, please bless me so that may I never have an ego. Please allow me to serve you. Mother, please bless me. Bless me, bless me. Swamiji, please guide me. Thank you. Jai Ma.